We want to talk about America and America involvement in every other country's prerogative. If you look upon what is going on in the world, America involved in every conflict that is happening in the world today. The one we want to focus on is Haiti. Now, a lot of you might not know, but Haiti is the first black republic. Them fight for them freedom against the French and win that freedom. First black republic. And from that time until now, Haiti have been going on and going through a lot of serious problems because of the aggression that is shown to them by France and America. And this is a serious thing because up to today, as we speak, France and America is creating a lot of problems in Haiti and put it on what you call gangs. That is how they term it, you know. It's either you're a terrorist or you're a gang banger. Now we understand when conflicts start happening in certain countries, people rise up against them own self too, because sometimes you don't even know the enemy. And what is happening in Haiti now, we see a lot of young people rising up against themselves, not knowing who is the cause of the conflict that they find themselves in. And we have to look on it seriously because after the French lose Haiti, the Haitian people was ordered to pay reparation money to France. And it go on for years, dozens of years. Haiti has been paying reparation to France. Can you imagine that? A little country that has gone through so much devastation and so much slavery, they were asked to pay reparation for the loss of the working force of the French in Haiti. Now there's a new conflict, well, it's not new, but it is bubbling, boiling, where some youth rise up now and decide, say, the government that is installed by the French and the Americans, them don't want that government. Too much of that now, over the years. The conflicts keep going on and on. So them rising up against not only the government, but also the invaders, which is the French and the Americans. And we see there's a lot of things happening now where even Jamaica is getting involved with it. Where you have people call themselves refugees who's coming to Jamaica that is turned back at the borders in St. Thomas and Portland without any due diligence to find out what is them status and all these things. Because Jamaica is taking the side of America as usual. And we here don't understand what it is to be an Asian right now in Haiti and how devastating it is for these conflicts to rise up every minute, every hour, to the point now where the president or the prime minister want to go back to Haiti, but him can't go back. Because I know the problems I'm going to face if him go to Haiti. And the youth them is adamant against all outside forces coming into Haiti to claim that they want to do this and want to do that. Because remember the last time the French and the UN forces got there, cholera was on the rise. Cholera was on the rise in Haiti. And the people them have been no better off since these turmoils taking place. Because the youth them decide to say, no more, we don't want no more. We have had enough dictators installed by America. And we have had enough intervention installed by America and France. So now it's reached a bubbling point. And we're selling to Jamaican government say, don't get involved in that, you know. Because we know say Haiti is the ones that help us to liberate ourselves from colonialism and slavery. Remember Bookman, for those of you who don't know, Bookman is that man who left Jamaica and got to Haiti and helped to liberate the people them from that colonialism that was taking place. And now we see Haiti need help, and the only help we can give them is to take side with the colonizers against the Haitian people. We are standing with Haiti. We are standing with Haiti. So I don't know where you stand.
The Caribbean, where violence has escalated dramatically in Haiti. Hundreds of civilians have been killed. And what started out as a fight between armed gangs and the government has become a free-for-all battle. In fact, some gangs have reportedly set fire to members of rival syndicates, and nations are sending charter flights to evacuate their citizens. But who will rescue the Haitians? Our next report explains.
Armed gangs have launched a new wave of attacks in Haiti's capital, Port-au-Prince. What started out as gangs versus the government has now turned into an all-out war in the Caribbean. Thousands have been displaced. Their homes have been completely destroyed. Gang leader Jimmy Cherizier started the chaos. The violence has forced Prime Minister Ariel Henry to resign. The announcement of his replacement has been delayed, and this has led to more chaos in Haiti. The US says that a new transitional government is the need of the hour. Washington is directly poking its nose in Haiti's internal matters.
It is not hyperbole to say that this is one of the most dire humanitarian situations in the world. Gang violence continues to make the security situation in Haiti untenable, and it is a region that demands our attention and action.
Meanwhile, the US has sent special charter flights to evacuate its citizens from Haiti. Other nations have also begun evacuating their embassy staff. As others pack their bags, it looks like no one wants to lend a helping hand to Haiti. Meanwhile, the gangs in Haiti say they will not recognize the transitionary government. Gang leaders are calling it an attempt to control Haiti.
We don't recognize the CARICOM meetings. We don't recognize the UN Security Council meetings. We don't recognize the body group meetings. We don't recognize the meetings held at the White House. Haiti's destiny has already been made and is not part of any of these groups.
Without a government, Haiti has descended into complete chaos. Gangs have now started turning on each other. The aim is simple. Whoever has more muscle wins. Some gangs are also capturing members of their rivals and setting them on fire. And amidst the gang war that was started by Jimmy Cherizier, a new mafia leader has risen. Escaped inmate Ezekiel Alexander has rallied thousands in his support as he vows to take back control of Port-au-Prince.
I feel sad when I see the area devastated, when I see older people and children, and when I see how they destroyed the biggest hospital in the area. I'm here today to help people return to their homes. It's not easy to do in one day, but with the support of the people, I'll do what I can.
Meanwhile, Haitians who are caught in the crossfire are wondering if they could have done things differently.
When I woke up to go to work, I found I could not leave because the neighborhood was in the hands of bandits. There were about 30 men with heavy weapons. If the neighborhood was mobilized, we could have destroyed them, but they were heavily armed and we could do nothing.
Civilians have been dealt a risky hand. On one side, they could join a gang but face the brutal mafia war. Or they could side with the government and be targeted by the armed gangs. For the Haitians, it's only a lose-lose situation.
Will recognize that they cannot use Haiti as a pawn because they have suffered for too long and by the hands of too many. I return now to the issue of Cuba. That Cuba can help so many in this world and yet be the continued victim of a blockade of over 60 years, but worse than that, a designation as a state sponsor of terrorism is wrong, 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 wrong. Will recognize that they cannot use Haiti as a pawn because they have suffered for too long and by the hands of too many.